Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are talking about Assajj Ventress for Star Wars Legion in today's video. We got ourselves a full preview. We're going to be able to take a look at her unit card. We're going to be talking about her as a unit. Also, command cards, her basic 3, and that mystery 4th card that we had so many questions about. Turns out it is a Dooku card that's going to boost Asajj as well as Dooku. So, pretty cool stuff. We're going to talk all about that in today's video. I'm excited because I think she looks really good. It also has me pretty excited for the future. Things like Ahsoka Tano, which probably will mirror a little bit of Asajj Ventress's playstyle. And that's kind of my guess based on what we're going to see here. But we're going to talk about Asajj in this video. If you guys are new here to the channel, little admin stuff real quick. Make sure you're subscribed. It helps out the channel. If you want more Star Wars tabletop gaming, that's what we talk about here. You're definitely in the right place. We talk a lot about games like Star Wars Legion, Star Wars Shatterpoint, X-Wing, and of course my all-time favorite Star Wars tabletop game, Star Wars Armada. We love talking about that sort of stuff here. Plus, there's links in the video description for social media, Discord, Patreon, Crabbok.com. Legion AI is over on Crabbok.com, so if you want to play a solo game, test out a build, you can try that out. It's totally free. Also, we're doing a $25 Amazon gift card giveaway right now, so you can put towards an expansion of your choice. And if you're interested in winning that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. I also want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. They have amazing full metal tokens. You should check these out. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com and just see what they have to offer. You're going to love these tokens. They have tokens fully compatible with Star Wars Legion. They're double-sided. They're metal. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're metal! Yes. But no, I mean, they're crazy. And I think I just did the I love you sign instead. Because, I don't script all of these. It just flows. But I do really love these tokens. You should definitely check them out. You're going to save 15% by doing code Crabbok VIP. So definitely head over to Luxury Playstyle and check those out. They make fantastic gifts for Valentine's Day for your gaming loved ones, as well as a little gift for yourself. So, head on over there. All right, so let's take a look at Asajj's unit card, because there's a lot to look at here. So, bam, here we go, folks. She is 150 points. Of course, she's an operative, as we knew. This is Assajj Ventress as a separatist assassin. This is kind of how you see her in the very beginning of the Clone Wars. She is got a 5 health, 2 courage, a red defense die, no surge to crit, no surge to hit, no surge for defense, no surges at all. She's speed 2. She has lots of dice. So she's got the Assajj Ventress's lightsabers. That is 8 black dice to rival Maul, and which is really, really cool, because I love the idea of running her with Maul, especially as they'll both be, at least Darth Maul could be ran with the Separatists. She's Impact 2, Pierce 2. She is got 2 Force upgrades and 2 training upgrades, and has a whole slew of abilities. Like many Force users, she has a couple of things that you're going to expect. She's got jump. She got jump 2, as a matter of fact. Now, that's an awfully high jump. That's typically associated with things like jetpacks or units that can fly. In this case, while she's not necessarily able to maybe just jump that much in a single bound, she is kind of like a ninja, right? So I don't think jump 2 reflects her absolute vertical height jump, but I think it's more about her being able to bounce around. Like if there's a mountain in the way, she's gonna just be like a little rabid raccoon going, kind of like that. I don't know, something. She's got deflect, as you would expect. Now it is basic deflect. Now basic deflect did get nerfed, and that will no longer let you spend a die in melee, or not spend a die, but spend a dodge token in melee to gain that surge for defense. So that's worth keeping in mind. But it's still good against ranged attacks. And oh my good, and she's also got immune to pierce, which you would expect a lot of Jedi to have. She doesn't have charge. She's got even better. She's got relentless at the bottom. So really cool. So if you want to give her saber throw, you would have a 4-die attack that she could make after moving at speed 2. So that's pretty cool. A 4-die pierce 2 attack at that That's worth something. But they're black dice, 4 black dice. But that's something I think people will probably consider, considering they gave her relentless as opposed to just charge. So I think that's pretty cool. Now she also has Indomitable, which is a very cool thing. It's like it's one that kind of doesn't fit with the whole like synergy of what she's got going on, but it works in a little bit into some of her, when we look at her command cards, Indomitable will make more sense. It's still a cool ability to have, especially if you think about the new rules for panic and all that other stuff. She's probably never going to panic, and of course that kind of works because she's very cool. Like she's very like, I will see the mission through and I'm not going to fail. So like I get Indomitable. I can see that. She also has Independent Dodge 1. Like one of the greatest keywords you could ever get for a Jedi or a Sith, for a saber user, right? Because I mean that just factors into deflect, gives you a ton of survivability. You don't need to do much else than that. Love it. I absolutely love it. It's very, very cool. She's got Jarkai Mastery also. Now, again, that's a lot of abilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keywords on Assajj Ventress. 7. That's a lot of keywords, and they fit so many on there because they didn't put all the extra helper text. But Jarkai Mastery has its helper text, and that one's pretty cool. It's a mastery we have not yet seen. Does not have deflect baked into it. That's why deflect is listed separately. So Jarkai Mastery reads, while performing a melee attack, you may spend any number of dodge tokens. For each dodge token spent, improve 1 attack die result, which I think is very, very cool. So improving an attack die result is like marksman, right? So you're just able to upgrade dice. So that will turn a blank into a hit, or will turn a hit into a crit. Which is very, very cool. Now, that's not going to work with your ranged attacks. So if she does a saber throw, you're not going to be able to, like, oh, I just need I need 2 crits to get through so that I can have my Pierce 2, even though you're behind heavy cover or whatever. It's not going to work that way. So this is only for your melee attacks. This is a very cool thing to have on black dice specifically, because black dice are very swingy. They can be like, it can be an amazing roll or it can be a nothing roll, but I think you probably average about 4 hits per, and this is going to, if you got a couple of dodge tokens, with Pierce 2, you can just manage some really amazing hits. Of course, that's going to make you want to run extra dodge shenanigans with her. I feel like things like Vigilance will, obviously Vigilance has been good for a long time. That's why it went up in cost and it's more expensive now, but Vigilance was going to be a good one to keep with her. Especially since she may not want to always issue herself an order. But then I also think like maybe Defensive Stance will be a good option with her. So she can, take a dodge action. She's got Relentless, so she may only need to move and attack. Although taking a dodge action is going to be tough when this is a unit that really is, offense oriented. Although the dodge kind of does help her defense also. So it's just a lot of really cool things, but you don't have to spend aim tokens with her. She's like not as concerned with aims. She's concerned with just guaranteeing result, which is it's just so thematic. It's just a really cool looking character. I'm excited. She just looks so strong for just 150 points. I think that's super groovy. She's cheaper than Maul. Maul's 160. She's 150, which makes sense. I mean, Maul's kind of a beast also. Maul can get 3 actions, but like I love it because I'm already planning out like a 9 sabers. The nano saber list is in the works. We're gonna think about that and see what we can come up with. All right. We also got her basic 3 command cards. Which one? This one is very, very cool. She has the Jedi shall fall. Assajj Ventress, a 1 pip. It issues only her an order. It says she gains Jedi Hunter, which again is offensive surge to crit if she's attacking somebody with a Force upgrade slot. Now, while Assajj Ventress performs an attack, during the roll attack dice step before rolling dice, she may gain up to 4 suppression tokens. She gains a dodge token for each suppression token gained in this way. This is where her, her Indomitable really comes into play. That's going to be a turn where she ends up with a ton of suppression tokens. And if she's doing this, she's probably not picking up and holding objective tokens because that, if you gain all 4, that's going to put her into panic right away, right? So yeah, that's pretty wild. She's going to be gaining quite a bit. But it's while she's attacking, so but you're gonna. I mean, that's just like 4 guaranteed hits that way, or potentially 4 crits depending on the type of attack you're doing. You know, it's just that's really really groovy. You know, if you happen to roll all hits, you could just upgrade them to criticals. I love it. Really cool ability, and that's you know, a little risky though too, a little risky. And it doesn't have to give her like relentless or anything like that because she's already got it. Her 2-pip is I Am Fear. I really like the artwork on all 3 of these cards. They're actually all incredible from a different standpoint. You know, you got this kind of fallen Jedi at her feet, and she's got this coy pose on the 1-pip, but the 2-pip is the creepiest of all of them. She's reaching in. It's a very fear-inspiring. Honestly, the artists for these like really really great job on these art prints. Really really nice stuff. I Am Fear, her 2-pip, it issues only her in order, in true assassin operative fashion, right? When Assajj Ventress begins her activation, she recovers. That's going to be important because one of the keywords she does not have is Master of the Force. So if you wanted to put something like Force Push on her, she's going to be able to get like a one-shot of it and then it's gone. And so Recover is going to help her in this case. Or heck, if you wanted to... you know, if you wanted to give her force reflexes, you know, like here's an opportunity for her to be able to get a free recover. So, because again, a character like Assajj doesn't want to have to do a normal standard recover option. Also, if you happen to have a whole bunch of extra suppression tokens and you're afraid, even though, like maybe you get shot a ton and you also did the Jedi Shall Fall and you've got like, you know, 12 suppression tokens and you're like, crap, I need to do a free recover, right? Or you need to get rid of some. You don't want to lose an action and all that other stuff. So we've got I Am Fear. When Assajj Ventress begins her activation, she recovers. At the end of Assajj Ventress's activation, she may perform an attack using the following weapon. And that is going to be a melee attack or up to range 1 attack that is both suppressive and has spray, and it has surge to critical. Which one is this one's interesting because if you do it as a melee attack, you can still spend... You know, like you can still spend while performing a melee attack. You may spend any number of dodge tokens. It doesn't have to be a lightsaber attack. All right, so she can do Jarkai Mastery on this if it's the melee version. Of course, if it's the range 1, then she's doing the, you know, a little bit of force kind of haunting or something like that. Maybe it's even a little bit of electricity in there. Maybe it's just a whole kind of her presence and everything. And so she's I think she's doing a little bit of Dathomiri witch magic in that 2-pip there. So a very cool attack. Gains surge to critical, which is awesome. So she's got 2 things already that are going to give her surge to critical. Again, very offensive minded. And also this is a whole nother attack too. Really good against troops. It's got spray. So this one's not going to be as intimidating against a Jedi, right? This attack doesn't have pierce, but it is suppressive and it's likely to hit. Because you've got black dice with surge to crit. That's going to be a pretty nice attack, especially if it's against like a whole bunch of, you know, a full unit of like, you know, 6 troopers or something like that. It could be pretty cool. You know, extra free attack. And then we've got this 3-pip, which is very different. And I like it because it's something that we have not seen before in a number of ways. It's a lot of little things that we've seen stuff like this before, but it's also a lot of new things in one card. First off, as a 3-pip, it issues no orders, right? Issues no orders. You must divulge this card and it stays in play. So it's like a 3-pip that you're not even playing. So she's like, her disadvantage here is that she's just going to really kind of have 2 command cards to actually play. This third one, you divulge it and I guess it comes out and it just stays in play during the divulge step. So then you're down 1 card, which is really interesting. It also kind of makes me think, oh, hey, you know, like Lando and Callus, you know, how they can give you extra cards. Maybe Separatists could use somebody like that one of these days. You know, that could be a thing. You know, but yeah. So this is you'll be down a card here, and that's something worth keeping in mind. Now, there's also multiple divulges now too. So if you want to run her like en Maul or something like that, there's some really interesting divulge step stuff that's going to happen here. But this one's cool because the line here means it's like one or the other. So sure, so she's basically going to say you divulge this during the deploy unit steps, and it's permanent, and she's going to gain bounty and reinforcements. So she can become a bounty hunter and she can go out last. True assassin style. But then you've got this other one where she's more like Sith apprentice, where you again divulge during the deploy unit step. It's also permanent, and she's going to gain Demoralize 1, putting out suppression tokens, Makashi Mastery, and Outmaneuver. Now, this bottom one, I think, is the more impressive one. Like, Bounty Hunter is a little tricky for a melee, because you have to go in there and, like, manually do it, and then you kind of put yourself at risk while you're doing it, and I get that, but if she's got a lot of dodge tokens, then maybe she'll be okay doing it. But this bottom one, Makashi Mastery, and again, this is going to be like, oh, okay, am I going up against anybody with immune to pierce? Because then I definitely want this bottom one. You know, is there a lot of surge to crit? Is there a lot of critical effects on the opponent's team? Maybe I want outmaneuver so I can spend those dodge tokens, you know, and cancel those, and then you deflecting, you know, even better. And then Demoralize 1 is also, it's just generally cool. But I think Makashi Mastery is the really interesting part, because if we go back, she would then have 2 masteries, right? She would have Jarkai and Makashi, which is really, I just think that, now Makashi Mastery doesn't have the enhanced deflect built into it. It just lets you reduce your pierce damage by 1, and if you do, it's also while only performing a melee attack. Your opponent can't use immune to pierce. But like, Dooku has been like the only one that could hurt Palpatine, right? Like if you're going in there, or you're trying to like get to somebody who's like almost untouchable, Dooku's like, no, you can't use your immune to pierce against me, you know. So she's another great example of that. And I love that. And she doesn't have to even be with Dooku to run any of this stuff until we get to the next card, which is the Sith Will Rule. This is the 4th card that's going to come in her pack. Now, this is a Count Dooku card. A Count Dooku card. So you got to run Count Dooku. It issues an order to only count Dooku. It is a 3-pip. Also great artwork on this, too. I love it. But it is a 3-pip that counts as a 2-pip. So there's a lot of little caveats with this, a lot of differences with some of these command cards. But so Dooku's going to play this. When you're building your hand, it's going to count as a 2-pip. It's a little tough to do that too, because there's a lot of good stuff out there. But a lot of competition for the 2-pip slot. You know, that's an interesting thing I think about this, because Asajj has I Am Fear, which is a really cool one. Dooku has this now as a 2-pip, and he also has Double the Fall. Double the Fall is a really good card too. Like, you got some tough choices to make if you want to run this. I think maybe you consider if you're running both of them, I think you can probably drop Double the Fall. You know, I think that's what I would do in this case. But Double the Fall is really, really good situationally. You know, I think it was a little better against like Rex and stuff like that, or you going up against heavy fire support. I feel like we get a little bit less of that now, so a little bit less Rex lately. So what does this do? It gives Dooku a dodge and an aim token. Okay, so 3-pip counts as a 2 for hand building. Issues only 1 order, so it's doing a 3, a 2, and a 1 kind of effect all in one, right? So it just issues Dooku an order, and he gets a dodge and an aim token. I like that. Well, one thing I like about it is that he's gaining the dodge right away. It's when you play the card, so it's, you know, before he gets shot. And so if he's kind of vulnerable and doesn't have a dodge token, hey, look at that! All of a sudden, he's ready. He's ready to deflect. And he's got an aim if he's going to get into some fighting. So this is a good kind of mid-game card, right? Maybe even late-game card. But what's cool about this is after Dooku activates, if Assajj Ventress does not have a face-down order token, she activates. After she activates, if she has a face-up order token, flip it face-down. If she does not have an order token, assign her a face-down operative order token. All of that's to just say, basically, Assajj goes after Dooku. That's it. But all the extra text is just to imply, you know, you're not going to get like a second activation out of her. She activates by force, whether she's got a token or not. If she has a token, it gets spent in the process. If she doesn't have a token, you go in there and you put it on her in the spent position. In other words, she just activates. So you get to do a 1-2 punch. This is a card that requires some setup. You have to have them close together. You have to have them both in striking distance, and you have to have them both in striking distance of a, you know, preferably a really high value target, or maybe even 2 high value targets. Because like, what if Dooku goes in and like just, you know, gets really lucky and like kills Luke Skywalker, and then Asajj has nothing to do, you know? So you want to have, you want to kind of end a turn with these 2 exposed. The problem is, if I'm trying to run Nano Saber or something like that, or like, you know, running Dooku and Asajj together is going to be tough because they're going to eat up a lot of your points. So you got to fill out that list and fill out those activations so you can kind of move Dooku and Asajj in last, and then be able to kind of 1-2 punch this. Problem is going to be that this is a 3-pip when you play it. Even though it counts as a 2-pip for hand building, you're going to play this as a 3-pip. So which means it's going to probably be beaten because your opponent may see it coming, may save a 1 or 2 pip just in case. Well, could be a mind game for your opponent in that regard too. But keep in mind that Dooku does have cunning, which means, and this is a Count Dooku card, so it will be eligible to be used by cunning. So if your opponent, watch what your opponent's playing. You ideally want to run this if your opponent's already played their 1 and 2 pip cards and you suspect all they have left is a 3 pip or standing orders. And this is a perfect time to run this card because then you'll be able to go first and second. Otherwise, you're going to have to let your opponent go first and then you get to do a 1-2. So that really only works if you got like force push and things like that. And you've got multiple targets. So like it doesn't matter which guy you go with first, I'm going to be able to get multiple things. But then your opponent plays a 1 pip and then does Ace Q uplink and gets some fire support, and then their 1 go, they've got like a 18 dice attack coming for Dooku or something crazy like that, which can kind of ruin your day. Because if Dooku dies, then you don't get the whole after Dooku activates, because then he doesn't activate, right? So, this one's a little more advanced. It takes a little bit of setup and a little bit of planning, but the threat of it existing can also influence what your opponent is going to do, and they may not play their high pip stuff early, which means you may win a lot more of the early turns, which is pretty cool. So that's something to think about. That's Assajj Ventress. I think she's pretty cool. I think her all the stuff that she's got, that the whole 3 pip that you got to choose one. Like which one are you gonna choose? Like I think I'm gonna be going with Makashi Mastery most of the time. I don't really want her to have bounty. Reinforcements is pretty cool though. Reinforcements is very cool, but she doesn't have infiltrate. So reinforcements is like, if she had reinforcements and infiltrate, that could be a little bit better. Although infiltrate's typically better if you're going early, still you can surprise people and you can play even more crazy mind games when you do that. She's gonna be a fun expansion. Definitely you can check her out. She's up for pre-order right now, although I would suggest pre-ordering at your local game stores. I was going to pre-order on Asmodee.com. I do a lot of the shop.asmodee.com pre-orders, and it looks like they made a change to the Asmodee pre-order system where you no longer get free shipping on pre-orders. I don't know if that's a temporary change or if that's a permanent change, but I tried to do it last night, and it basically wanted to charge me an extra $10 for shipping on a $20 expansion. Brought the total to like $32 just to pre-order Asajj. That's like, she's like $21.95. So I'm like, I think I'll just pre-order from a local store. It's that used to be one of the like advantages of pre-ordering. So I think between that and then the free Ahsoka for brick and mortar stores, I think Asmodee really wants to get you to play at your local brick and mortar store, and I think they really want you to pre-order from those local stores too. And I agree with that 100%. You should absolutely support the places that you play, because that's what brings communities together and gets you playing new people, playing new styles, breaking out of your current meta, getting new people involved into the games. All of those great things happen at your local game store, so continue to support your local game stores. And if you're in Orlando, we play over at Coliseum of Comics on East Colonial. That's kind of like the new home for the Sci-Fi City refugees. So if you're part of like one of my old gaming hangouts, that's the new place to game. So you can head on over there and do your pre-orders and all that good stuff. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and helped make this channel continue to be pushing out content. So thank you so much. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. Always wash your socks. Cowabunga. And to infinity and beyond.